Hey everybody, Andrew here from Pacific Coast Auto, taking a look at the results of last week's auction picks. And before we get started, I gotta say, the picks were really good. Out of the 10 cars you guys chose, only one didn't sell. What sold and what didn't? Let's take a look. Up first, the Subaru Impreza STI. This one sold for $4,740, just over Derek's guess. The Toyota Town Ace with the twin moonroof also sold. Somebody picked that one up for $1,590. The Delica went for quite a bit over Derek's guess. Somebody bought that for $5,670. The AE111 Sprinter went for quite a bit under Derek's guess. That one went for just $700. The Mitsubishi RVR Sports Gear was also pretty cheap, though it did go for over Derek's guess. That one sold for $930. The Land Rover Defender got picked up for $29,170. Our one unsold car was the 60 Series Land Cruiser. That one only got bid up to $6,390. Nowhere near what the seller wanted. The Honda Orthia, you guessed it, sold. That one went for $560. The Nissan Safira wagon was another cheap pickup. That one went for just $460. Almost spot on with Derek's guess. And finally, the Type 2 VW bus also sold. That one went for just over $20,000 less than Derek's guess, selling for $30,740. That's going to do it for last week's picks. Now here's Derek with this week's.
Alright guys, it's Derek here now, and we've got 10 cars to look at this week, coming up at auction tomorrow or the next day, and I gave you guys kind of like an assignment to only pick 3 cars each this time. I didn't actually pick which one of your picks that we put into this video. That was done by Andrew, because I was at home today. I was snowed in. In fact, it's snowing today. What's the date today? The 21st? 21st of March. I don't think it's ever snowed this late in Yokohama as long as I've been alive, and so this is really weird. And I wasn't actually snowed in at home. I was at home watching my boys while my wife had a day off. So it was fun. Got to work all day from home, basically. Anyways, let's see what we got here. We got... yeah, your guys' picks from Facebook. Thank you for sending those in, and we'll jump into it pretty quickly here because it's now pretty close to the end of the day, and I want to burn through these pretty quickly so that we can get this video uploaded today because I don't want to wait another day on it. So thumbnail here is a Honda S2000. I think it's the first time we've had an S2000 for the thumbnail. This is a good looking one with the aftermarket headlights on it, the stock AP, I think those are AP2 wheels, and the red top with the red interior. Very cool. But according to this, it is a Honda S2000 standard. I don't think that it is a standard one. I think it's probably some sort of a trim package that gives you the red with the red. That being said, I don't know the S2000s very well. I wonder what's going on with this screen. Looks like somebody headbutted it until it broke. And you have to be really accurate with your headbutts on that screen because it's, you know, not like new cars like a Tesla. You have to be very accurate with your headbutts if you want to break screens on old cars. And the S2000 is an old car now. It's kind of weird to think. It still, in my mind, feels like a new car, though. So this is a 1999 S2000. It is up for auction when? On the 22nd. That's tomorrow. 86,673 kilometers on here. 6-speed manual. Auction grade 4 with an interior B. It's purchased from user. Leather, red leather seats. Aero parts on it. Okay. And this one's the 2000 cc. 1999. Is that the first year of these? My S2000 knowledge is not inserted into my brain at the moment. Aftermarket headlights, it says on here. And what do we got? Front bumper has screw holes in it. That's weird. Navigation doesn't work because somebody headbutted it. Seat is peeling. Kind of a weird word to use there for the seat, but probably it's like the typical leather, you know, wrinkly, cracky look that leather gets when it gets a little bit old. A red seat's going to look, I think, worse than other colors. Maybe not, I don't know. Headlight clear coat peeling on it. Underside surface rust. And modified exhaust. Pretty perfect body here, except for the front bumper lip has A4, so that's heavy scratches on the front bumper lip. Take that guy off. Repaint. Put it back on. And you have a pretty good condition car besides that. And a lot of times these A4 scratches on the front bumper are going to be underneath where it bottoms out. Say it's going up a hill or something like that. So I think it's a pretty good condition car. It still has the current registration on it. Note the license plate says 2000 on it in reference to the size of the engine on this. And so yeah, a good looking car. Nice dual exhaust here. It's cool. Price for this one, S2000s hold their value well. I don't know what it is about Hondas, but all Hondas seem to hold their value well if it's one that enthusiasts like for example S2000 or CRX. Not so much the Del Sol, but I guess more so now than it was about 5 years ago. Anything Type R, of course, holds its value pretty well. I think the Accord Type R is a good value for money. But anyways, price for this one, starting price 680. I think we'll probably see this one go for 1.25 million yen. So that's going to be my guess. On to the next one, Bill Courtney. Oh, Redneck Hunter sent in that one, pardon me, and he says it's a nice looking S2000 with a red soft top and red leather interior. Next one, Bill Courtney sent in. Pow. And he says, Cedric with stick shift and only 23,000 kilometers, grade 4A. Let the bidding begin. This one definitely could turn into a bidding war because this is a very strange combination. Usually the Cedrics are automatic transmissions, so to find one with a manual transmission is kind of like having your birthday 5 days in a row. That's how rare that these things come up, I would imagine. And it's very cool. It's basically what the taxis are here in Japan, is either a Toyota Crown Comfort or Nissan Cedric for most of the taxis. The gold color is kind of cool. I like it. Original wheels and suspension. Owned by somebody's grandfather who likes 5-speed manuals. So it is really cool. Has full history from 2006 until 2016. Comes with a spare key. Underside has some light surface rust on it, and the dashboard is deformed. Let's see if we can spot that in the picture. I don't know this car that well to know where the dashboard usually deforms on this, but it's probably right in here where the hard plastic meets the soft plastic. That's a typical place for it. This is a really awesome car. I would love to have one of these. The body is great. The mileage is low. It's got a 5-speed, 2000cc engine. It says V20E Classic. Cedric V20E Classic. Importable to the USA. Exterior grade A-. Interior grade B. Yeah, it's cool. As for price, man, it's going to be one of those cars that somebody's going to bid super high on, or it's going to sell for a nice cheap price. And so if anything, like usually I don't recommend bidding low, but something like this, you don't really know what it's going to sell for. And so a low bid on this might be a reasonable bid. You might be able to pick it up for 200,000, but I think that it's probably going to sell for about 550 or 600,000. So my guess on this one would be 600,000, and we'll see how we do. But it is a cool car. So very JDM. It even has the Grandpa seat covers on it. Ooh, I bet you it smells like a Grandpa too, in a good way. Not like a disgusting Grandpa, but like a nice smelling Grandpa that takes care of himself. I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, next one he sent in from Jeff Paraiso. And Jeff didn't have a comment on this one. He sent in a Legnum. Okay, so the Legnum is the Galant station wagon. Now, the Legnum comes with a 2.5-liter twin-turbo engine and 4-wheel drive with the active yaw control of the Lancer Evolution, and so it is a super wicked station wagon. This one here isn't the turbo version of it, though. And so this one is the one that... It would have been branded as a more luxury one. You can see the beige leather interior in it. A 2.4-liter engine. I don't even know what engine that might be. It's a V6 in the VR4 version of it, the turbo 4-wheel drive version. 2.4-liter V6, I don't think that Mitsubishi has one of that size, but I could be wrong. Let's see, make sure it's not a diesel. That would be weird. That would be awesome, but that would be weird. It is a gasoline, 76,666 kilometers on it. It is the devil's car. Well, 10,000 kilometers past the devil. It's a devil plus 10,000. Grade 3.5, interior C on here. Underside surface rust, scratches and dents. End panel deformed, so it's been bumped in the rear end, but not enough to require anything to be fixed. And front bumper bracket also deformed, and so same thing on the front. Body looks to be kind of poo-poo. It has a U3 over here. That's a large dent, large scratches here, large scratches here, large scratches there. I think that this, for me, that would be too much damage on the body, and that's usually the first thing that I'll take a look at. Is I'll go through the auctions, see what cars look appealing, and then click on them, pull up the sheet first up, and then look at the body diagram. And if it's got this much damage, then it's usually going to be a no. It'll sell for less, but I think if you're, a lot of our customers buy the cars for the purpose of reselling and profiting, and if it has too much damage on it, that's going to cost too much to bring it up into good condition. And I think it's just better to get a good condition car and be like me and bid super strong on all of the bids. And so it's still cool. I don't think it's as cool as the turbo one, but you get it for a nice cheap price, I would imagine. 42,000 yen is the starting price. I can't see it selling for that much more than that. I think that we'll see it at 65,000 yen. Okay, on to the next one here. This one's sent in by Raya Davino. Okay, what do you send in? This one, and he says, this is my contender for a clean ER34 Skyline 25 GT Turbo. It's a very nice car if you want a fast and comfortable daily driver. So the ER34 is the turbocharged RB25 engine, 280 horsepower. And then this one has the 5-speed manual. It is not super duper common to get the 4-door with the 5-speed. I prefer the looks of the 4-door of this generation. I don't, however, like this front bumper. I think it is too pedestrian for the amount of performance that this car has. Now, I was talking about this because a number of customers had sent this one in and they wanted to do bidding on this, but a lot of people these days want to get the ER34s because they can't afford the Skyline GTRs. And the Skyline GTRs have gone up in price so much recently, it's pulling the price of the non-GTRs up market, which is really weird because a car like this would have sold for about 500 to 600,000 yen about 4 years ago. Nowadays, I would be surprised if it sells for less than $1 million. So we have nice low mileage on here, 67,735 kilometers. It's a 2001. The Neo version of the engine is the 280 horsepower. The R33 got the 250 horsepower version, I think. Auxiliary 4, interior B, Nismo suspension, that's pretty cool. G Attack S-Tune, I don't even know what that is, but it sounds really aggressive. Original 17-inch wheels, and I don't like these wheels very much. They're kind of like a ghetto version of the really awesome 18-inch wheels that came on the GTR, but I don't think that they pull off the good looks. Aftermarket Navi, first time at auction, authentic mileage of this car in the 60,000s, and that's going to boost the price up a lot. Having the low mileage on a car like this with the original 5-speed is a combination that keeps the price high. Headlights are cloudy, underside surface rust and corrosion, exterior paint fade and paint peeling. It doesn't say where the paint peeling is, which is really weird. Most auctions will tell you. This one here is an auction that wants to pick a fight with people because the paint peeling, most likely it's going to be on the plastic bits, which would be the mirrors, front bumper, rear bumper, or the rear spoiler here. But it could be on the metal parts. Body looks to be pretty clean. Some scratches and dents up here. Or at least one scratch and one dent. They don't say how many it is. Cracked piece and a misaligned side skirt. You can kind of see that a bit in the picture here. Various scratches and dents. The condition is good. It's not amazing for the mileage, but I think that it's pretty good, and I think that we're going to see this one sell for 1 million yen. That'll be my price guess on it. Although I could be way off. A couple of weeks ago, there was an automatic transmission version of almost this exact same car, and it went unsold with a high bid of 1 million yen, and an automatic should be, you know, half the price of a manual transmission, so this could very well sell for more than that, but I'm going to guess 1 million just because I feel like guessing that. I feel like prices, especially for registered cars right now, are lower than they are any other time in the year. Okay, on to the next one. Elijah McDonald sent in this bad boy, or good boy. Very good boy, actually. These are awesome. This is the first version of the real STI Foresters, so that's really cool. They had other ones that were kind of trim level STI that had STI badges and STI suspension and like the Impreza brakes on them, but they weren't real STIs. This one here, you get the good 6-speed manual transmission, and it's basically an Impreza. You get the higher horsepower and 280 horsepower in this one. And the better looks, and the better bumpers, and the better wheels, and all of that stuff. So, it is cool. I like the idea of an STI station wagon. Well, it's kind of weird. You can get STIs in the Impreza for several years. I think 1994 was the first year in the GC8 generation, and then up until now, you can get an STI in every generation. You can get an STI Legacy, but it's kind of not a full STI for the Legacy, unless it's like an S402 or S403 version of that. But this Forester, it is the good STI. You get that good 6-speed manual. Okay, so Elijah didn't say anything about this one as to why he wanted to pick it. Maybe he wanted to pick it because it has nasty, cloudy headlights. I like how that's one of the pictures included in this. Here, have a look at the headlight. I'm sure that's going to help sell this car. Or have a look at the toll collection box. As if that really helps. I don't understand. Anyways, let's have a look at the auction sheet. This is a 2005, and I think... Oh, man. What was the first year of this generation of STI? I think it was 2003 at the end of the year. But I could be wrong about that. STI version, 2.5 liter engine. And so you get the bigger engine than in the Impreza. That puts it in a higher tax bracket here in Japan. Auction rate 3.5, interior B, exterior B. 8689 kilometers, manual 6-speed, HID, toll collection box, aftermarket exhaust. Interior is dirty and scratched. Seat wear. Right front power window doesn't work. That's a shame. Headlights are cloudy. Aftermarket shift knob. End panel dented. That's the same thing as I previously spoke about. It's pretty easy to hit that because it's kind of like sticking out here. You can back into things. Headliner is dirty. Exterior has paint fade. Once again. Oh, it's a different auction. Once again, where's the paint fade? Where is it? Here's a funny thing. This auction, HA Kobe, is changing to a USS auction in August. That's fun. Okay, body, like most Subarus, has a number of small dents because they're made out of tin foil, which has its positives. I know it doesn't sound like it when I put it that way, but a light or thin sheet metal means lighter bodies, which means higher performance, better fuel economy. Just keep your doors away from other people's doors, or bubble wrap your car every time that you park it. Okay, as for price, I don't know. I haven't checked to see how much these sell for. I can make a guess, but I don't really have any knowledge about it, so it's just going to be a wild guess. Let's see that mileage again. 80,000, 6-speed. Okay, I'm going to guess 750,000 yen on this one, but I don't feel confident about that. On to the next one. Liam Irving sent this in. Thank you for having a name that is easy for me to pronounce. I actually saw this one and I was very interested in it because I love the Mercedes-Benz industrial vehicles and I love camping cars. And so this is definitely up my alley. It looks like the condition is not perfect and it doesn't look like it's a camping car that is really high-end, even though it's a Mercedes. I know it sounds really weird, especially for like Americans or Canadians who are not used to the industrial versions of Mercedes-Benz vehicles, where all the vehicles on the market from that brand are luxury vehicles. And so this one would be kind of like your typical commercial van that's converted into a camping car. I can't tell if it's a pop top. It doesn't really look like it is in the pictures. And if it isn't, I don't think that you get very much headroom inside it. So that would be a bit of a concern. But it's still cool. It kind of looks like the late 80s Mercedes-Benz E-Class, and then turned into like a go-go gadget van that can convert from like different models. So it's cool. It's a 1996 Mercedes-Benz MB100D. What does this say? Regubi camping. Regubi? I don't even know what that means. They translated it, which is auto-translated, into Legby. But that still doesn't make sense to me. Okay, 8450 kilometers on it. 2.4 liter. Ooh, diesel. An original Japan car. That's interesting. Not imported. With 5-speed manual. So that's a really cool combination. I wish I knew if it was 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. I kind of feel like it's a 2-wheel drive car. The seller didn't say anything about it. And I can't read that in the chassis number. Although interesting, it starts with a V, so that means it wasn't manufactured in Germany. Ooh. Okay, so auction grade 3.5, interior C. Legubi camping car. It says the camping kit or any of the camping parts are not checked by the auction, and so check yourself for details. The battery is dead. They don't specify which battery. A lot of campers will have a standard car battery in them, as well as a deep cycle battery for whatever electronics that they want to use in the back. Steering wheel wear, seat wear, wheels scratch, door mirrors scratch, interior dirty and scratched, windshield rock chip, underside surface rust and corrosion, driver's side door can't open. Perfect. You can just roll down the window and Dukes of Hazzard your way in. Just jump in through the window. But do be careful to get some training because the windowsill here is very high, so jumping through the window to get into your car could pose a big hazard. Dashboard is cracked. We have some corrosion on the roof. A large U4 dent over here. Otherwise, not so bad. The corrosion on the roof, well, it's taller than people would be able to see, and so give it a grind and paint it, and you're done. It's not in need of being extremely beautiful. It has 6 seat belts, and it's, you know, a cool diesel 4-wheel drive camping car. Recently, a lot of people have been wanting to buy camping cars from Japan, and Japan has lots of great camping cars, but you really have to be the type of person, and I've mentioned this a number of times, the type of person who's okay with a little bit of risk in their camping car. Somebody who has the ability to fix up anything that's broken, because there are going to be lots of things in here. It's not like a regular car that has an engine, transmission, and basic drivetrain and an interior. Here you're looking at a fridge and a heater and a water pump and sink and basically like a small house. You can see like the roof here, or the headliner, looks like it's discolored a little bit. And all you get is just this one picture, so you don't really know that much about it. And so the good part about buying a camping car from Japan is the price is awesome. Super amazing. The downside is you don't get very much information, and so you could get a lemon pretty easily compared to just buying a regular car from auction. Okay, I'm done convincing people not to buy cars from us for now, and so let's go on to the next one here, sent in from Jalmari Raipalina. He is our customer of ours, and he sent in this one. Andrew was showing me the cars before I shot the video, and I laughed by accident out loud at this car. Because who would paint their tough, dependable diesel 4x4 car in a sky blue color like this? It's a weird, like, drift cars, yes, but usually 4x4s, when people repaint them, they're almost always black in Japan, it seems. And otherwise, they might be like red or white, but I've never seen something as crazy and attention-getting as this, especially for a car that's otherwise stock. Like, if it had big tires on it, I could see that a little bit more, but it costs a lot of money to repaint your car into a completely different color. And it's a commitment, too. You're going to have to like that color and live with it for a long time. Okay, so this one, Jalmari says, low mileage, doesn't look like grade 3 with paint P2 all around. Here's something that's... okay, he also says, hint, it's Yalumari. He wrote in katakana Japanese, or Yalmari. So he's saying, don't pronounce my J. Here I am saying, I know this guy, he's our customer. It's definitely Jalmari. I'm sorry, man. But I've never actually spoken to you in real life. It's always been through emails. From now on, every word with a J in it is going to be the J that doesn't sound like J's. I don't even know how to call that. Anyways, on to the rest of the sheet here. So it's a 1998 Hilux Surf, which is also known as the 4Runner. But it's better in Japan because it comes with a 3-liter diesel engine with turbo on it. It's a good engine. I'm not going to say bad things about it. I know that other people do, but I have never had a problem with it. 524 kilometers on here, automatic transmission, color change to blue. Of course, it's not an original color. Now, here's the big problem and something that a lot of people don't think about when they see a car like this, and they think, I can drive a nice blue car like that. This car has P2 on it. See here, and 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 here. Basically, all the panels have P2. P2 is paint damage, and in a lot of times, or a lot of cases, it means paint fade. So if the paint on this is faded, then you need to repaint it to fix it. You may be able to get away with doing some sort of a like a diamond coat or something like that to bring up the shininess of it, but really you need to repaint this to fix it. Repainting a color change car, you never know the appropriate color. You have to do a color matching, which is like a gun that they put next to the car, and it kind of reads the color of the paint and tries to get a close amount. But if you have to paint, say, one panel on a color changed car, you're going to notice a difference every single time, unless they used an official paint code from a manufacturer, in which case you have that paint code and you can get a perfect match. And so if this were an original stock color on the car, no problem repainting one panel. But if it's a color changed car, there's going to be some difference if you ever repaint anything. And that's one of the big reasons why I don't want to own a car that has been color changed, even if it is a cool color. Because once the car is repainted, it usually doesn't last the 15 to 20 years that paint usually lasts. It usually only lasts like 5 to 10 years after it's been painted. In some cases, even less than that if it wasn't done very well. And so color change cars is a thumbs down ×3 for me, and I don't recommend it. That being said, a lot of cars will be cheaper if they're color changed because a lot of buyers are like me and they don't want a color changed car. So if you want to spray this with rock guard all over and make it look tough and manly again, then that might be the right car for you. First time at auction, exterior has paint fade on it, seat saggy, seat dirty, and aftermarket exhaust. And then, yeah, the body is really good except for the paint. And so, it is a shame. Otherwise, it looks like a fantastic vehicle. So, I think that the color change to blue is definitely going to lower the price. I think most car dealers aren't going to want to buy this for profiting because nobody wants to buy a car that's all faded, and not very many people want to buy a Hilux that's this color. And so because of that, this could be a win for everyone else. The seller didn't mention it, but this is the intercooled version of the 1KZ engine, which has an extra 15 horsepower, I think. You can tell because there's the food scoop on it. And you have like the intercooler here, whereas the earlier models of this engine doesn't have the intercooler. Okay, I think that we'll see this one go for 220,000 yen. I'm gonna guess low on that one. Yalmari. Thank you for telling us how to pronounce your name. Also very cool that you could write that in katakana. And for people who don't know, the katakana alphabet is all phonetic, and so you can properly pronounce words very easily with that, within the limitations of the katakana, which sounds a little bit weird. I'm sure that Yalmari, his name isn't like Yarumari, like how you would say in Japanese. So, anyways, we got 3 more here, so what else do we got? Raymond Yu sent in this guy, and says, Renault 4 GTL cool hatch with a question mark on it. This car is actually quite interesting because in Canada we don't really have Renaults at all. I don't even, maybe in like the 60s and 70s some of them were imported, or maybe some dealers sold them. But I found one of these in the forest once, and I had a friend talk me down from restoring it, and I had no idea what I would have been getting myself into because it was basically just a rusty old shell sitting in the forest. And he's like, no, dude, you take it from me, you don't know what you're doing here. And at that moment, I was like, you can't tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing. And thinking back at it now, he is so right. And it makes me think of sometimes, like, we have customers who are in the same position as I was at that time, where they get into things and we try to advise them against it. And when you're the person who's being advised against things, it's very easy for you to say, nope, I know everything and I'm not going to listen to you. And so my word of advice to anyone who's listening, and if I tell you not to bid on cars, well, there's a good reason for that. Okay, so the Renault 4 is a car I don't really know anything about, except for one of them has existed at one point in a forest in Canada. So 169, 851 kilometers on an 1100cc engine with a column shift manual 4-speed. Kind of weird already. Auction rate 3.5 with an interior C. Lots of paint fade and peeling all over the body, but otherwise the body's not too bad. So that's cool. It looks like probably a good candidate for a restoration. You would be able to get this for pretty cheap, I would think, but I don't know if these are cheap cars in other countries either. I think that Renault made tons of these, but I don't know how many are left these days. Okay, the engine doesn't, it says the engine makes weird sounds, but if you're going to restore a car, an engine making weird sounds is not an awful hefty price to pay compared to doing bodywork and interior. One of the drive shafts needs to be replaced, various scratches and dents. Key cover cracked. I don't know what that means, but maybe the place where you put the key in? Okay, aftermarket audio, winter tires, underside surface rust, front wiper removed. Oil leak, interior dirty wear and ripped. You can see the rip in the option sheet there. It looks like it's missing some carpet, or maybe it didn't even come with carpet. But yeah, they don't mention anything about corrosion. There's no corrosion on the body. There is unclear paint on this side. No corrosion on the underside, so could be a good car to start restoring. And cars like this, older cars like this, are a lot simpler to restore than new cars are. And so something like this or a classic Mini would be a good first car if you want to get into restorations. All right, thank you, Raymond, for that one. We got two more here. Mitch Cowie for the next one. Okay, and it's a Fiat 500 Abarth, or Abarth, however you want to pronounce that. Zippy little things these. I think they're cool. Every time I see them ripping around here in the streets of Japan, they look and sound pretty cool to me. I know that they're not your traditional looks of a sports car, but from an original Mini owner, I think that these are pretty cool. I like small cars, something that's light and nippy, and they're really, really good sounding cars. They pop and crackle like a regular rally car does, and they can be made to look pretty aggressive like this one is. So it's not going to be for everybody, but I think it's pretty cool. I would like mine with a manual transmission, and this one is not the manual transmission, but it does have a reverse camera. And here's a funny thing. We just fixed the reverse camera on my minivan, and we've been using it for like over a year without the reverse camera working. And I think if you learn how to drive with a reverse camera, then you're never going to learn how to back up properly. And my wife is excellent at backing up now after the camera broke. And so if you're a husband or a wife and the other half of you or the person that you're married to is really bad at backing up, put a little piece of tape over your reverse camera, and then when they say, oh no, it's not working, then you'll say, I don't know what it is. Darn, I love that camera. And then when they get better, you can take it off and say, well, look, my car just magically fixed itself. That's my advice to everybody. So this is a 2011 Fiat Abarth, or Abarth, $695. I think that $695, is that the like trim package that comes with the decals and the wheels? Maybe. I don't know these cars well enough. 1.4 liter engine, and that's a turbocharged engine as far as I have knowledge in my brain. What does this say? Tribute Ferrari. I don't know what a Tribute Ferrari is. Tributo? Tribute. Okay. Auction rate 4.5. Interior, exterior, both A-. 11,633 kilometers on here. It's nice and small, so ocean shipping will be cheap. And probably a car like this, I would imagine, is cheaper in Japan than in most other countries. Simply because in Japan, you lose a lot of value in like the first 5 years of a car being around. Okay, it comes with boring stuff. I'm not going to go get into that. Headliner, something. Headliner. I think it says the headliner has been replaced. Rear diffuser modification. Let's see that. Ooh, carbon fiber dash. It's so good looking. Ooh, but flat bottom steering wheel. Do not like it. Not one bit. That is a nice rear diffuser. And 4 exhaust pipes for a 1.4 liter. Yeah, cool. Okay, A4 here. That's a shame, but you won't be able to see it very well. It's going to be underneath the side sill there. And the rest of the body looks fine. Price-wise, we haven't had any customers asking for a 500. The Abarth is the performance version. The 695 Tributo Ferrari seems like it's a limited edition version, maybe even more power included in it. I don't know, but the starting price of 2.9 seems a little bit high to me. I guess I'll guess 3 million on that, but it still seems pretty high to me. But what do I know of these cars? And on to the last one here from Leslie Lee. sent in a Toyota Starlet. This is a car I highly recommend for people who want to get into racing because they are super cheap cars. Parts are easy and available, and racing parts are easy, and they perform really well. You can see these ripping around the track and passing stupid cars like the RX-8. And I'm only saying that because I was the driver in the stupid RX-8. Not that RX-8s are bad, but I was getting passed by these. That's not true. There was one of them that was just so hot. He was the best in our group, and he was driving a Grantsa. And so these are turbocharged and intercooled 1300cc front-wheel drive cars made by Toyota. And I think they're really light, somewhere around 850 kilos. So that's pretty cool. Auction grade R, interior B, exterior C, 114,033 kilometers. Automatic. Automatic, that's going to need a transmission swap. A3 on the front here. I do wonder how the 1980s, 1990s cars with automatics handle the turbos, because you get turbo lag pretty badly in cars of that generation, which is fine if you can keep the RPMs up, which you can do with a manual, but if it's an auto, I don't know. Comes with winter tires, yes! Okay, and trunk floor repaired, front inner panel dented, core support dented, engine oil leak, steering wheel wear, seat stain small. Seat wear small, interior dirty, wheel covers scratched, winter tires on there, and then the body looks like it's so-so. Dent here, scratch here, scratch here. Without the 5-speed, it just doesn't have very much value. I think that this one will sell for 500,000 yen. No, 50,000 yen. And so basically less than $500 for this. Okay, and that's going to be it. So we're in at 35 minutes of me talking, because I got a little timer here. Plus Andrew's stuff is going to put us just about 40 minutes for this one. So it might not go up until tomorrow. I'm sorry if this is late, everybody. But anyways, that's going to be the end, and I'll see you guys again next week.